exhibition, as you probably know, is about these two people here. And what happened is, Picasso was this Spanish guy who was born in 1881, quite a long time ago now. But when he was young, like you, he was desperately keen on painting pictures and drawing pictures, and he was really good at it. And I don't know that he won any competitions sponsored by a newspaper, but I know that he won lots of prizes in all sorts of other contexts. The end of his teenage years, when he was about 18 or 19, he decided that if he really wanted to be a serious artist, he had to leave Spain, where he was born, and he had to move to Paris in France. And when he moved to Paris in France, he moved into an apartment just down the road from this guy, who's called Degas. So we don't know that the two of them ever met each other, even though they only lived a couple of blocks apart. But we do know that Picasso knew about Degas' pictures, and he thought they were just fabulous. And so Picasso was like a sponge. You know how you get a nice dry sponge and you put it near some water and it soaks up the water? And you put it near some ink and it soaks up the ink? And you put it near something else and it soaks that up as well? Picasso did that. Anytime he saw an artist he hadn't come across before, he looked at their pictures and he thought, I can do that. I can do this. Sponged it up. So this is another one of Degas' statues, and this is the most famous one he ever made. But this is where I have to tell you the slightly confusing thing. This is a statue, a little dancer. It's one of the most famous statues in the whole world ever, made by Degas, but Degas never actually saw it. Now, you might want to figure out, how does that work? How does Degas make a statue, but he never saw it? Well, do you remember what I told you about the process of making a statue? Degas made this in wax, first of all. And as well as having a real tutu and a real ribbon, she had real everything else. She had real tights and real slippers and a real bodice. And she even, this is the truth, it always creeps me out, this, she even had real hair. Which kind of like stuck in the wax.
And it's like a doll.
And it's like a doll. And the wax was tinted to look like skin. So when the original wax statue was put on exhibition in Paris, everybody knew about Degas, and he was famous as a painter, but they'd never seen any sculpture by him before. And so they all ran to the exhibition to see it. And they walked in the room, and a lot of people saw it in a glass case in the middle of the room. And it looked like a real little girl standing in a glass case. And people were kind of blown away by it. Everybody kind of went, oh, wow. Oh, that's amazing. It's so realistic. And then they kind of got close and they went, ooh, it's creepy. So they thought it was fantastic, but they were a bit freaked out by it as well. And because of that, when the exhibition ended, Degas took the statue back to his studio, and he never showed anybody any of his other pieces of sculpture ever again. He kept making them, but he never put any of them on show. And it was only when he died that people went to his studio to clean up, to gather up all the unfinished paintings and the drawings and the other things that they found there. And they found all these wax statues. And wax isn't as long-lasting as metal, as you can imagine. So in order to make sure that they didn't all fall apart, they decided to make bronze versions of the wax statues, and that's when these were made. And that's when that was made.
So this ribbon,
So
he
every now
didn't
and
tie
again-
that on.
No.
But do you have to change it every now and again?
Every now and again, because the ribbon and the tutu are kind of biodegradable, we have to get new ones now and again. And they cast several different versions. So you might go to the Tate Gallery in London and you'll see they've got a little dancer and her tutu comes down to her knees. And some of them have green tutus and some of them have grey black ones. It depends on...
There's one in New York.
There's one in New York too.
How many would you say are up there?
There are 20-something. Nobody's quite sure, I think, of the exact number.
You know, that's...
So Julia, how'd you like your trip to the Clark today?
I loved it.
What did you like?
I really liked our guide, and I loved how I'm really bad at this.
That's okay. Degas or Picasso?
I like Picasso a lot. I like the colors used and how he can interpret things.
So what do you think of the argument that he might have been borrowing a little from Degas?
I believe did it because there's a lot of like elements used from Degas.
I've got Margaret. Margaret, how'd you like your trip here to the Clark?
It was good.
Just good?
It was all out of this world.
Which did you like better, Picasso or Degas?
I can draw Degas. I can't really draw Picasso as well as Degas, but I still like Picasso very, very much.
What was your favorite thing you saw?
Metal Lady in Tub. That was good.